that, okay, you let pick a church for example now. You're supposed to speak to your congregation. Why must you disturb others? We understand that Muslim, they use loudspeaker to make invitation, to call to wake their people, I mean, the faiths, to wake them up. So, and when we started, let me just tell you the procedure. We have not relaxed. We are working. And if you compare the level of noise we have now and what we had before, it's coming down. How do we go about it? The first thing that if reports, we cannot be everywhere. So somebody reports that, okay, a particular church is making noise. The first is go and find out whether the church is really making noise or not. So when we now invite the church leadership in the ministry, this is our offense. Don't forget that religion is very, very sensitive. We need to be very careful. But that's not to say that one will not say what you say at the time you're supposed to say it. So once we have written you, the first thing we do, after inspection, we want to identify what are the factors that are making the noise to be unbearable. We find some churches, they don't have window. Some, they have speaker on the roof. So the first thing is that to tell them what to do to make sure that at least their noise level is kept within permissible level. So then, I haven't told you what to do, we now ask you to write an undertaking. Okay? And now give you maybe a week or two within which to comply with all what you have said. And I can assure you that for now we are corrected by 67 churches. So you see, it's just like when SSS is working, the public don't know. But they should go, okay, they didn't work in the church, they are complying. Are you with me? So it is not, we're not relaxing it, but we are working. Then when we get complaint from you now, we just invite you, we tell you what to do. But where you now failed to comply, that is when the wrath of law will now catch up with you. And we have closed about 4 or 5 churches. Okay? So I think that is just it.
Now, before I will give my colleagues the opportunity to ask questions, I want to ask you, at what level is your ministry now? Few days back, one of the eminent professor of history, Professor Falada, was having his 65th anniversary birthday. And one of the Southwest Governor Orange, came and said, I challenged the Premier University. You can come up with a model to make wealth for our people. As an university, you should be able to see how we can turn our waste into wealth creation. Now this is your ministry, Commissioner. At what point are you right now towards turning the waste to wealth? Research has shown that Oyo State can make over 2 billion in recycling. What is happening? And today the government will say we don't have money. When you have wealth, we still away.
Well, I want to thank you. I told you initially when I started my story with you that what we are practicing is integrated solid waste management. And what we are saying is that what I call a weight should be turned to weight. Nothing like we say about it. And in Nigeria, one thing about Nigerian professors is that they are very good at theory. So many research findings just kept under the sun. I think we have that book. It's answering. It's not only you are. Okay, that's one aspect. Another thing is that Nigerians generally, anything foreign, we like it. Okay, I want to say that the issue of converting waste to weight, what we're talking about, is not a day job. It involves massive investment. Okay, and that's why we are engaging private sector now. Okay, the people we engage now, if you go along the Shagamu from Ibadan to them now, there's about 24 hectares of land now that is set aside for something of that nature. And we have 4 dump sites in Ibadan. So, the 4 dump sites, any collected waste, they are deposited in any of these 4 dump sites. And that is where the raw material, the raw waste, now be moved to that place called the station. Okay? So that means that from now,